Hey guys, so yes, I am finally back after I think months of not recording anything. Um, but hey, it's 2018 now. I should be uploading this video today if everything goes well. It is the first day of the new year. So, I guess sort of the general tradition is for people to look back on the last year. And for me, one of the biggest things throughout the year was really finding myself and figuring out my identity and kind of coming to terms with the person that I am. And a lot of that over the past few years kind of came hand in hand with coming out. So I thought that I would talk about my experience coming out or trying to come out to different people throughout the year. And oh my god, my lights are flickering. It only looks like they're flickering in the video. They're not flickering in real life, I swear to god. Anyways, so I guess the very first time I tried coming out was, I think, 4 years ago. I kind of had been snooping around Tumblr, and that was the first time I really started becoming part of an internet friend group. And a lot of my internet friends, actually the majority of them, were older than me by a couple of years. And so I ended up looking on Tumblr one day while I was in a Skype call with them, I think, and I came across this term called demisexual, which isn't really a sexual or sexuality, but I didn't really know any better at the time. And it's basically supposed to be if all that it takes to fall in love with someone is the build of an emotional attraction over time, which, as you could probably see, that doesn't really have anything for the most part to do with who you're attracted to. It's how you become attracted to them, if that makes sense. But I tried coming out to my dad as that, and he told me, like, oh, you're too young to know that. And since my dad's the more accepting parent, that kind of devastated me at the time. And then I waited almost 2 years. It was closer actually to a year and a half until I came out officially to my family. And over that year and a half or 2 years, I kind of found more names for identities, and so I found the term pansexual, which is you're attracted to all genders, all gender expressions, all that, so it doesn't matter if you're non-binary or agender or cis, trans, boy, girl, it doesn't matter to me as long as you're a decent person. And so yeah, I came out on Christmas 2015, right? Yeah. Christmas 2015 is when I came out to most of my family. Really, it was sort of my dad's immediate family, and then a couple of cousins and a couple of extra aunts. But other than that, I didn't really directly come out to other people. My grandma, I appreciate her for doing this. I can understand why some people really wouldn't. And a part of me, kind of questions why she didn't just let me say it myself. But she ended up actually telling the majority of my family on my dad's side for me, which was nice because it saved me from having to say, oh yeah, I am pansexual, I like anyone as long as they're, nice and care about me too. So, yeah, a part of me does kind of wish that I could have told people myself, but it's fine. And, I never really came out as non-binary. It kind of just was a thing that I would bring up occasionally. I mean, I did at some point tell my grandparents when I was misgendered as a boy one time when we were out at lunch, when the waiter walked away who called me a boy. When he walked away, I told my grandparents, oh, well, it's really fine, I'm gender fluid, which means that I don't care if people call me a boy or a girl or don't really know, which has kind of changed, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So, as you can probably tell, there's been a lot of kind of going through and testing out different labels for myself, and, but a lot of it has been pretty similar throughout my time. When I first discovered being demisexual, that's still like, I don't care who you are as long as you're nice. Same deal with pansexual, and actually I don't normally refer to myself as pansexual. I go the Chase Ross route, and I just call myself queer, because for me, I just identify with that label more. And then as far as gender identity goes, gender fluid, non-binary, they're similar as far as how I define them. Of course, how one person defines something isn't always the same as how someone else defines it. And being non-binary kind of leads me to the most recent part of my identity. Since about 4 or 5 years ago, when I started really questioning my sexuality and my gender, when I came to terms with, yes, I am non-binary / genderqueer / sometimes gender fluid, there was always this nagging part of me that thought, I think you're trans. And, it would come up a lot throughout these last few years. Sometimes it would be incredibly consistent and it wouldn't go away, and I would have really, really bad dysphoria, and because I had that dysphoria, I would have anxiety and not want to go anywhere, and it was a lot. And a little bit earlier, well, I can't say earlier this year anymore, but towards the end of 2017, I started thinking, okay, I'm going to settle this. I'm going to take time to really process my gender identity, and I'm going to try to come to terms with myself, whether I'm non-binary, or if I'm trans, or if I'm both, or neither. And, after 4 or so years of questioning and having this nagging voice in the back of my mind, I finally decided, you know what? Yes, I am trans, but I'm also non-binary, which to some people is kind of confusing. And as far as the pronoun thing goes, since I am trans, I do like being referred to with he, him pronouns, but overall my preferred pronouns are they and them, because those pronouns just feel more right for me. But he, him pronouns, I'm not gonna complain. So, yeah. Also, this I really added in that trans part as its own separate thing, because that's something that I had been thinking of but never really said anything about for so long. And, yeah. I also, before I forget, since I am trans, I thought I would mention I'm going by Andy now. So, yeah, I'll be signing in as Andy instead of as Liz. And I know some people would be, oh God, no, birth name, no, on the internet, people know. But I mean, it's still a part of me. And at this point, I know that I kind of have to refer to myself as Liz at some points around some family members, so I'm not going to completely abandon that ghost of my identity, if that makes any sense. But yeah, some people might be surprised-ish, but I feel like most people would be just, oh, I knew it, I expected that, yeah, so, yeah, so, that's it. It's the new year, and this is not the new me, just the me that is going to keep trying to better themselves, for once. So, I hope that wasn't too rambly, and that it actually made some sense. But, yeah. So, this is me wishing myself and everyone else a great 2018. I'm hopeful for this year. I really am. Because there's, you know, as with time, we can only really move forward. So, I feel like that's just what we have to do. We have to move forward with time. We have to get better. In one way or another, we have to get better. So, yeah. I guess that's it. Have a great 2018. I'll try to pop in more often now. But, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video or episode of whatever I have planned. And until then, have a great time.